So my mom definitely did not give me the middle name Tarzan. I picked that up on the Appalachian Trail. We all had trail names, and mine ended up being Tarzan. So when I bought this Volkswagen van, I actually wasn't going to name it at all in the first place. Number one, it's just a large, lumbering, slow, brown van. And literally, when I would peg it at 51, I'd be fine. If I hit it 52, 53 miles an hour, both side mirrors would just droop. It made me think of that animated cartoon Tarzan. Tantor is his elephant friend. It's a big, brown, lumbering elephant. And this van is my best friend, and he's just a big, brown, lumbering van. So Tantor fit pretty well. So living in a van for me was not an overnight success. I finished the Appalachian Trail in 2012, and I came home and I knew I didn't want to live the normal life. I wanted to be out here experiencing everything, but I just didn't know how. So I went back to a regular job. I lived in a regular house. I had a hard time fitting back into the real world. But it took me 3 years to figure out how to parse out and get rid of most of my physical possessions, eventually move into the Honda Element and then into this van. And it also took me 3 years to figure out how to make money on the road. So now I do freelance marketing. I work my own schedule for a couple clients that I know in California and Arizona, and anywhere that I can find Wi-Fi, so it's typically coffee shops or libraries, I can get a little bit of work done. And that offers me this freedom to travel wherever I want to go or see whoever I want to see, friends and family. It took 3 hard years of a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of creativity, and just determination to stick with that dream. And I'm glad that I stuck through it, because now I'm here enjoying life with Tantor. So here I'm sitting in the cockpit of Tantor, and I spend a lot of time up here. I have everything I need. I've got all the little mementos that I've picked up from all the adventures that I've had with different friends along the way. And this is it. Most of the time it's just me sitting by myself. Luckily, every now and then I can get someone in the passenger seat with me, but most of the time it's just me and Tantor rolling solo. So the first year of living full-time in the van and traveling full-time, I spent about 5 or 6 months driving around the United States, and I covered about 20,000 miles. I was new, I didn't know what I was doing. I had lived in town in the Volkswagen van, and I knew exactly where to park every night, where I could get showers, so it was pretty easy. Once I hit the road, I definitely had a learning curve. That first year I spent a lot of time sleeping in truck stops and Walmart parking lots. Now I'm 2.5, 3 years in, and I can find dirt roads, national parks, national forests, BLM land, so most of the time I'm camping for free. So one question I get asked most often is how I take a shower while living on the road, and that was something I had to learn. But I bought myself this solar shower bag. I just fill it with water wherever I can get free water, typically a park. Dog parks are great, truck stops, McDonald's, wherever, but just fill this up with water, and I'll leave it up on top of the van for a couple hours, and the sunlight and this black side will just really heat this thing up. It's not quite as efficient or as comfortable as taking a shower at home, but this gets me pretty clean. I just hang it off the side of the van, and I put on a pair of running shorts and take quick showers. I really wanted to bring the outdoors in. I love spending a lot of time outside, so I always have grass out the front, but I kind of wanted to bring the grass indoors. So I bought this really cheap AstroTurf. I've got a fridge right here. It would run off of electricity and also propane. I typically don't use it. I just cook dry food, so it's kind of storage. I keep all of my pots and pans and cooking utensils in here. It's really easy. I don't have a whole lot again. This is just silverware and a couple odds and ends, kind of your quintessential junk drawer. And then on the top, the benefit is I've got a 2-burner gas cooking stove where I can cook all my meals in here, and a water faucet with a water tank in the back. So I really have everything that I need to live right out of this. Driving a van and living in a van and traveling gives you an opportunity to really experience the world at a slower pace than flying or hopping in a rental car and just pushing through. So it's more of a slow move, a slow travel, and that's what I like about it. Now I would say this is more of the living room of the van. I've got past the kitchen. I actually have a table that I can use for prepping food or working a little bit in the van, but I don't do much of that. I like to just be out here adventuring. I've got 2 little bins, storage bins here. I can just have my camera gear, a bunch of hats, and outdoor gear. And down on the very bottom, I have my shoe storage, and that Gatorade bottle is the bathroom of the Volkswagen van, so you probably don't want to see much of that. Up above, the lower bed area, I've got my running gear and some other things, and of course, toilet paper. I have a closet. I actually still do wear a suit every now and then, so that's in here. And in the very back is the rest of my clothes. So there's not a lot of space, but again, I just don't need a lot of stuff. Now the bed is pretty simple. I typically sleep on the bottom. It's just a lot easier. It's actually a lot more comfortable. Now you just pull the bench seat. All my tools are underneath it. It goes flat. And then I've got my bed. And then if I want to sleep up on top, I can actually just pop the top to the van, and I have an upstairs bedroom. I typically only sleep up here if I'm camping or if I need some airflow with these vents, but the downstairs bed is way more comfortable. One of the benefits of living in a van and traveling so much and being able to go wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go, is that I've spent so much more time with the people who are important, friends and family, and a lot of time with family. I've been to Arizona to see my dad's side of the family and lived with my grandpa in his retirement home for months, you know, in the last 2 years. And most people in their 30s, they just don't get that opportunity. When I lived in California for 10 years and had a regular job, a regular house, regular rent payments, I just couldn't do that. I didn't have enough vacation time, and it was always hard to see friends and family. So this lifestyle has opened up huge opportunities to really spend time with the people who are most important right now before I don't have that chance to. Now on the back end here, I've got the engine compartment, and luckily I haven't had to do too much work, but it has broken down a couple times. My favorite modification is the mechanics beer holder. You know, the whole van life movement right now, it's pretty cool, and I follow a lot of people and get inspiration from the places they're visiting and experiences they're having. But for me, this van life thing, it's not to get popular or famous. I don't really care how many followers I have. I did this because it was a challenge. It was scary to take off and live in a van full time. I mean, who knows where my next shower is going to come from, or if I'm going to be woken up in the middle of the night by the police, so I have to move on. It's not fun all the time, and I think a lot of people don't see that in the social media movement of van life. I don't think this is it for me. I don't necessarily want to live in a van for the rest of my life, and I don't really necessarily want to live in a van for the next couple months. I'm kind of ready to move on. This has become so not easy, but I know what I'm doing. I've got it mastered, and I'm not being challenged every day the way I was when I started this. So I'm kind of looking for that new challenge. But van life is cool, and I know a lot of other people are jumping into it, and it's worth it if you want to be in it. But definitely don't do it because you think it's going to make you a lot of money or make you popular. I don't make any money off living in a van, but it's really rewarding, I think, if you're doing it authentically or doing it for the right reasons. And I think I've benefited a lot as a person from doing this.